Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Welcome back to another random commander that I've generated, and it's Derevi, Empyrial Tactician. Green, white and blue for a 2/3 legendary bird wizard with flying, obviously, and when it enters the battlefield or a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may tap or untap target permanent. And you can pay 1 green, white and blue to put Derevi onto the battlefield from the command zone. No command attacks, nothing else, you just literally have Derevi come in, Derevi gets killed, you just pay the full mana and it comes straight back in again. Now, traditionally, Derevi has been the centerpiece of EDH or cEDH Stax decks, and it really has got a bit of a bad reputation. You know, I'm thinking of Winter Orb, Armageddon, so on and so forth. All those things you don't really want to see in a Stax deck. I'm not sure Armageddon is, but you know what I mean. And it doesn't really help people out, and it does upset people playing against it. So I've tried to down the power level for this and play it more like how I'd prefer to play it. So this is my take on Derevi that hasn't got really any of the Stax bits in it. So here we go. As usual, I'll start with the land, and yeah, it's blue, green and white lands all the way through. I'm playing one of each of the castles because they are just quite fun. Command tower, Dranathi Ruins is kind of semi-key in this deck. You do want to have this as one of the things you're untapping, so you can keep pumping in the +1/+1 counters on some of our non-human creatures when they come into play. Beyond that, we've got Gavany Township, which also puts +1/+1 counters on all our creatures, which is really helpful. We also have, that's about it really. I've got the usual things you'd expect to see in one of my decks. We've got Temple of the False God down here, we've got Reliquary Tower up here, so we've got the usuals in. I am playing one Misty Rainforest, it's only Sackland I am playing. You can probably drop this out if you want to, or if you've got the others you can put them in. I just decided to go with this one. One thing I will point out is I am playing the new Surveil lands from our most recent set, Murder at Karloff Manor, because I'm actually preferring them over a lot of the other options in the deck. So they're all in here, but yeah, I think that's enough of that side of it. Artifact ramp wise, you can go heavy with this. I mean, I'm trying to build this so people maybe can look at it outside of Magic Online. So, you know, you could on Magic Online go Mana Crypt, Mana Vault, have all the big ramp stuff in quite easy. I've decided to keep it a bit more balanced, so I went with my usual two of Tantalite and Talisman and Soul Ring, and then Arcane Signet, Felwar Stones. The chances are you'll have someone playing at least one of your colours. Mind Stone, each one of each of the talismans. So Curiosity, Progress and Unity, and then Thought Vessel. We've got a couple of the bits coming up that help us get the mana out as well, so hopefully we'll get there. But what I've decided to try and do is, with my version of Derevi, is not go down the whole Stax route. I've decided to go down, let's try and have some fun with it and do some interesting, slightly different things with it and win that way. So we have got a couple of the Stax things. So Ephemerate's here because we have got a couple of creatures we'd like to bounce in and out if we can. Path to Exile, Soul Splashes, just targeted removal. Birds, Delighted Halfling, Elvish Mystic, Landwire Elves, Noble Hierarch, no-brainers to help us ramp even more, along with the Elixir of Immortality to shuffle everything back in when it goes pear-shaped. Cyclonic Rift gives us the ball control, along with a little bit of counterspell and mana drain, the only two counters in the deck. Bloom Tenderer, because we are playing a 3-colour commander at the end of the day, so if nothing else, Bloom Tenderer will tap for 3 mana when we have Derevi in play. Heroic Intervention keeps everything alive when we have it in play. Nature's Law, Rampant Growth, 3 visits, get us on the ramp side again. And then we are playing Kinnan. We have a lot of artifacts in the deck. We might as well try and double up on some of the mana we get, and doing the whole top 5 card things, putting non-human creature card into play could be very useful with this deck. Likewise, Lonis, Cryptozoologist, we can nick other people's things if we really want to. So again, happy with that plan. A couple other little bits in this section. Lightning Greaves and the Boots are here just to protect Derevi or protect one of the other creatures we've got coming up that we need to keep in play. Eerie Interlude lets us just exile everything and then bring them all back in again at the beginning of the next end step. It's a nice way of getting around a Wrath of God or something that's been coming out. Farewell springs to mind. This is nice anti-farewell tech, especially if you can get it off in response to them casting Farewell, so bear that in mind. Ghostly Prison gives us a little bit of protection along with its blue version, Propaganda. Obviously Propaganda came before the Ghostly, but yeah, they're the same card, just different colours. Savine's Reclamation lets us bring back some of the things from the graveyard if we need them at any stage. We can phase everything out with Teferi's Protection if we really need to. That helps. And then we've got Chrome Host Sea Shark is also here as well. We've got a lot of non-creature spells in the deck, so it made sense having this one in here. I mean, we're playing 21 creatures, 43 other things, alongside the 35 lands. So we might as well have this in to generate some of the incubator tokens, which we can transform to artifact creatures when we need to. Not a bad plan, one feels. Anyway, Rhystic Study makes an appearance, because why wouldn't you? Winged Portent. We have a few creatures with flying coming in. Well, we did have, I'll be honest, this card probably needs to come out now. My first draft of this deck had a lot more flyers in it than it does now. So we'll lose it entirely and replace it with Avenger Zendikar while I'm thinking about it. There, on the fly change in the middle of a video. Yeah. Anyway, Rhystic Studies here, as I said. Cultivate is also around. Get some of our basics. 3 islands, 3 forests, 2 plains in a day. Probably used to giving it the plains more often than not to make sure we have them. The Growing Rights is here, just so we can have our sort of like Persuado Gaia's Cradle when we can get it flipped. Yesan, the Wandering Bard, lets us go and search out our creatures that we may need. So, you know, go and get a bird, then go and get Kinnan or Lonis, then go and get probably one of the next few cards down on the list, and go from there. So yeah, it's all good fun. Eternal Witness is one of the cards we will probably go and get with Yesan to return things to our hand, or Fate, or Fate Burrow Eldo, because, you know, who doesn't want to be able to tap things for more mana than we have already? Kutsuli Melamat Exemplar also makes an appearance. Your opponents can't cast spells during your turn, and whenever one or more creatures you control, each with power greater than its base power, deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Should be quite easy to get the card draw off with the amount of artifact mana ramp, +1/+1 counter ramp we have. That should be doable quite easily. To make sure we can draw the cards we need, Endrick, Spymaster of Tress makes an appearance. Here's the first thing that helps us get the +1/+1 counters kicking around, Hedana's Climb. I usually try and let this sit there as an enchantment for as long as possible until I have to flip it. Mainly because chucking around a +1/+1 counter every turn for free is really good. Likewise, putting them on at the end of the game once you've cast all your creatures ain't too bad either. So Broker's Ascendancy makes an appearance in this deck today. Achroma's Will just keeps everything alive when we need it to. Shalal, Voice of Plenty, means that everything else has hexproof. We have hexproof, and then we can dump all our mana into things to ensure that we get the +1/+1 counters on the go. Smothering Tithe, yeah, playing white is going to be in the deck, sorry. Emily the Blessed is also here as well, another way of blinking creatures in and out. Obviously 2 mana, then we can pay the white and the green to get a +1/+1 counter on it if we need to. Yeah. The only unicorn we have is Emily, so we're not really going to be doing it that. You can't target itself anyway, so don't know why I'm talking about that. Anyway, Wrath of God helps us control the board. Urza, Lord High Artificer, one of the main targets for blinking, especially with Amini, just so we can keep getting those constructs coming into play for our artifacts. So yeah, Urza probably is one of the cards you want to protect with the boots or the Greaves when you get him into play, just to ensure that he stays in play and can make his artifacts for you all day. If you're going to do that though, it's better to have the Greaves on, better to have the boots on him than the Greaves. Toski is indestructible, can't be countered, and attacks each turn, and you get to draw a card whenever a creature you control deals combat damage. Venture Forth, just a little bit more ramp. I like this one again. Yeah, suspend it for 2, and then just let it go through and get the next land card off the top of your library. Ayorda, the Ice of the Icy Crown, also makes an appearance. Whenever you tap an untapped creature, this taps permanents, okay. You may pay 1. When you do, choose 1. The 4/4 elementals are very good. The +1/+1 counters are even better. And then if you're desperate to scry 2 and a draw the card, it's okay. It's going to be one of the first 2 I'll be choosing though. Guardian Scale Lord just lets us return things. I just quite like this. As from the March of the Machinist Commander set. Its ability to do the whole backup one when it comes into play, so we can get another one of our things back from the graveyard before the Guardian attacks. Makes perfect sense to me. Seaborn Muse lets us untap everything every turn, which means we get multiple uses out of things like, Gavany Township. And Mirari's Wake means that when we do get those things on the go, the extra mana we produce is fantastic. Austere command just gives us a way to control the board with either creatures, enchantments, or artifacts. Empyrial Storm, every time we've cast our commander from the command zone, we get to do the angel thing. So you do want to cast Derevi a couple of times at least, I think, from the command zone before you start cheating them into play using the 4-mana trick. And likewise, Genesis Storm is another one you want to make sure you've cast every couple of times before you cast this off. Bit pointless doing it any other way, to be perfectly honest. Avenger of Zendikar, you saw me come in with, and then Call to Calling just gives us a way to go and find something that we need out of our library into play as quickly as possible. But that's my take today on Derevi. What I would say is if you're playing this on MTGO, make a comment in the chat as quickly as possible saying you're playing a non-cEDH version. Just otherwise you will get picked on and you will be targeted and you will be enemy number 1 in the game. Obviously if you're playing something like this in real life, let people know in real life what's happening. Just so they don't pick on you as well, because it has got a reputation, this card. So there you go. I've run out of time for this weekend doing more deck techs, so there will be a stream replay up tomorrow, and then on Thursday I'm going to try and get one in that I've been asked to do if I get the time to do it on Wednesday, which is Estrid. So come back for that. Someone's requested it on the YouTube video, so if you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure you hit the subscribe button down here. Come and follow me on Twitch, there's a link down below. If there's a particular commander you want to see, let me know in the comments. The person who's going to get Estrid on Thursday hopefully did do that, so they'll see that this week. And that's it for me. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Well, tomorrow you'll see the stream replay, but for now, take care, see you soon, bye.